Okay, so method of attachment is really important. Did I damage something? The next one is adaptability. Okay, is adaptability. So in other words, was something created for this space? Oh, guys, I could tell you so many stories on this one. I mean, including one time I remember my kids were little and I took them to King's Dominion. Okay, I was so excited to take them to King's Dominion. This was a long time ago. They were little, and of course, King's Dominion was a really big deal when you have little kids. They just love everything, and you know, of course, you gotta watch every little, you know, watch everything when you have little ones. But I was on the phone most of the day arguing over a bar that appeared to be built in, but apparently it was not. Okay. There's a lot more details to that, including that there was tile built around it. There was matching bookcases. There was lights hanging from the ceiling. And if you take away the bar, all of that is weird, right? It doesn't make any sense. And so we were able to argue that through adaptability, the bar was meant to be there. It was custom made for that space. Their argument was, well, it's movable. And we argued back, it was made for the space, and we won. So that was really, really good. But this is the kind of stuff that I don't want to go through. Now, I really was angry at the agent because she had not only not told us, but she had featured it in the listing with pictures that said bar, right? The virtual tour, it said bar, you know, and in the pictures online, it said bar. And it was a picture of not the room with the bar. It was a picture of the bar, and it was labeled bar. It's not like I would, selling a house and label something couch, right? You don't do that unless the couch is actually conveying. So why in the world did she do that? I feel like she misled us more than anybody else, but at the end we won, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, but you get my point. If something was made. Okay, I'm going to tell you the biggest one of all, adaptability. You guys know those Venetian blinds, right? You know the Venetian blinds, right? The ones, I don't know, mine are up high. I don't know if you can see them or not. But mine, I had to have custom made for all the windows. When I bought this property, there was no blinds in the entire house. I'm the second owner of this property. I bought it, so 2004, however many years ago that was. Jeez. So I've been here a long time. But when I bought it, I was the second owner, but the other people just never put any curtains in the entire house. They never, no blinds, no nothing. They just never put anything. It was only, they were barely here, and they didn't need it. So there it is. Okay. So with that, I had to come and I had to measure all of these windows and custom cut blinds. And by the way, my living room has 4 windows that look the same size. They look to be exactly the same size, but they're not. They're not at all. They're like a 1/4 inch, 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch off. It's just ridiculous. So I had to measure all of them and have them custom cut. So the key word here is custom. Anytime you have anything that's custom, through adaptability, it is supposed to stay now. So anything that you have custom made to fit a spot in that house, it is now be a part of that house. It becomes a fixture. Now, people say to me all the time, well, what if I don't want to sell them? That's fine. Make sure everybody's crystal clear in that agreement. My suggestion is to take it down, because I can tell you from thousands of transactions that, let me tell you something, when they see it, they want it. Okay, they want it. Okay, and you don't want that, because now suddenly I only bought the house because of the washer and dryer. Really? You only bought this house because of the washer and dryer, and now that the washer and dryer, I'm not buying it anymore. That's the whole reason I wanted that. Really, that's the whole reason you wanted the house was from washer and dryer. Like, don't mess with me, because I know that that's just garbage. Like, you didn't buy the house because of the washer and dryer. Stop it. Okay, but this is people when they're emotionally charged. Okay, so adaptability. You want to make sure that it's crystal clear in the agreement, and if it's made for that space, you let the homeowner know, hey, this is supposed to stay here. Were you planning to take it? You got to let me know if you're planning to take anything, because I got to make sure it's in the agreement. And then guess what? You and I are responsible. If we don't get it in the agreement, guess who pays? Anybody? That's right. Us. Okay? And trust me, I have spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars through the years. Sometimes it's me who forgets. Sometimes it's the owner who doesn't tell me. Sometimes it's the buyer's just throwing a temper tantrum and I want to get through the sale and I don't care. Do you know how many dishwashers and refrigerators and stoves and washers and dryers and do you know how many I've bought? You should see. If you ever go with me to Lowe's or Home Depot one day, you should go. You see. They ask me, they have to go through a long list of addresses. And I'm like, I don't live in any of those. I was buying it for somebody. And then they're like, okay, I'm like, this is my home address. And it's so funny, but they have a long list because I'm like, okay, I'm here, I'm buying this and send it to this address. So adaptability. So these are the three predominant tests of a fixture. And if it goes to court, this is what they're looking at. And you and I have the capacity to reduce the craziness that goes on in real estate. And let me just explain to you, it's always settlement day when we go to do a walkthrough and we suddenly notice things are missing. And we're like, whoa, where's the thermostat? And they're like, well, we liked our thermostat. We wanted to take it. Okay, Mrs. Listing Agent, you didn't have this conversation with your client that a thermostat is a fixture and they don't have the right to just take it, right? There's wires hanging out of the ceiling. They took the fan, they took the light, the beautiful chandelier. Oh my God, you know how many chandeliers go missing? Oh man. Sometimes people take all the appliances. I mean, it's always a freaking mess. And this kind of stuff happens and we have to work our way through it, okay? But if you have good agents working on both sides, then these things don't happen as often, okay? It's not 100% because there's always going to be a client who suddenly decides to do something. Or you tell them not to and they do it anyway, okay? But it greatly reduces. And this is why real estate agent and your reputation matters. Because agents want to work with experienced agents. They want to work with people who know what they're doing. They want to work with responsive people. They want to work with people that they know care and are educated. Why? Because it makes our life easier. Okay? So if you're new and you get your license, you need to make sure you have a good support team. And then just communicate that when you're submitting offers. Hey, I just want to let you know I am new. Don't be afraid to tell, because a lot of these agents look you up. I don't know. I've never personally looked up an agent. It's not my thing. I don't really care. I can tell by talking to you whether you're new or not. I can tell a lot by looking at the offer that I receive, whether you're new or not. And if I see a messed up offer, I am not working with you. I'm just being honest with you. I need this to go to settlement, and I'm not playing around. And you're not getting in my way. Now, if you have a broker that checks your offer before you sending it out, now you don't have those problems. And when I receive it, it looks good, right? So I at least know that you know how to fill out a contract. And then when I talk to you, guys, just be honest and say, look, I want to let you know I'm new, but I want to also let you know that I'm coachable. And number two, I have a really strong, my broker is very responsive and my broker is working with me side by side. So you're not going to have any issues. If you tell me that, I feel comfortable with you. But if I call you and you don't answer the phone, if I start asking you questions and you don't know the answers and you don't tell me you're new and you try to pretend you're not, I'm going to know right away you're lying to me. And I don't like that already. Because this transaction is going to be teamwork. right? We got to get this to settlement day. So I want honesty. I want transparency. I need us to work together. Okay. So be careful with that. But as long as you have good support, you don't have a problem. Nothing. You're not going to have any problem as long as you have good support. Now, I'll tell you, I messed up my first couple years of being in the real estate industry, and I chose brokers who didn't answer their phone and never returned my phone calls ever. We didn't have text messages back then. That would have been nice if I could just text my broker and my broker would text me back, but we didn't have that kind of thing, right? On the weekends, I never could get a hold of my broker. Whereas last night I was doing comps with one of the agents. Yep, and it was 10 o'clock at night. Okay, why? Because I know this is what agents need. That's why I do it. I want to be the broker that I wish that I had. So don't go to the wrong broker. You better make sure that your broker will answer the phone on the nights and weekends, because that's when you'll be working. You also want to make sure that, like, one of the girls in my office, she told me that every time she would call somebody in her office, it was always a big fee attached. I don't know. I'm just not so much for that. I like to have, in my office, we don't do that because I just want everybody to be able to help everybody. And I'm confident you might have to search a little harder, but it's the right fit for you, I promise, to get inside a group of people with abundance mentalities that all help each other and they don't look at each other as competitors. And they're willing and able to help. Okay, that's what you're looking for. If there's always a price tag attached to it, it kind of gets a little bit old, I guess. I don't know, because you're going to end up making no money at the end by the time you have lots of questions. A lot of these places charge left and right for trainings and mentorship and stuff like that, and I just think it's garbage. That's my feelings. So search, okay? Don't just jump, okay? Search. And then remember, if you're not happy, you're not a tree, you're not stuck, you don't have roots, get up and go. You can go at any time. It's just a little harder than you think, but you can still go. All right, the last test of a fixture, guys, is the relationship of the parties. So landlord-tenant type of situation, a little bit more complicated. Obviously, if a tenant does something. Now, if a tenant replaces the light for a chandelier and they live there and they love and enjoy the chandelier, and then on their way out, they take it down and leave wires from the ceiling, well, landlord's got a case against them. But if they put the old chandelier back up or old light fixture back up, there's really nothing the landlord can do. Okay, so again, relationship of the parties really makes a big difference in there. All right, now, Fructus Naturalis. I'm sorry that my Google Doc is all messed up for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, we're making it through it, right, guys? We don't let anything hold us down.